I'm a 3-time cancer survivor. My first 2 battles with cancer, my first battle was stage 4 in both breasts. Both breasts were consumed. I had a nodule in my throat, 7 in my left lung, 9 in my right, and 1 at the base of my spine. And I was told by 3 oncologists that there was nothing that could be done except for to make me comfortable. I wasn't a candidate for chemo or surgery at that point. It was too far gone, they said. And I guess I should maybe back up a little bit and say that I'm a traditional Lakota woman. I practice my way of life. I'm a pipe carrier for my people. I sun dance. I raise my children in our culture and our way of life. And I firmly believe, and I'm rooted very firmly in that belief of how to receive wellness that way. And so when doctors were just like, there's nothing we could do, I sent for help for, to me, one of the world's most renowned medicine people. And NASA studied him, his grandfather that was studied by NASA as well. And I went to him. I had to have a series of 4 ceremonies. Those ceremonies were 2 rounds of natural medicine. I cannot tell you what it was. They didn't tell me. And for 6 months, I was cancer-free. I made an exchange. In our culture, we don't pay money. My agreement was that I would remove anger from my body. I thought I did that. But 6 months later, I thought I had strep throat. I went to the hospital, found out that I had a mass. My chain of lymph nodes above my heart was bigger than my heart, and it was putting pressure on my heart, which is why I was getting very dizzy all the time. They needed to remove it right away. 2 oncologists again. First one came in, said, oh, I can remove it here. I don't know what cancer it is. Just in all my years of practice, I know that it is. And I went, I'm not interested in having you take anything out of my body that doesn't need to be removed. So they sent in another oncologist. She came in and explained to me that no, unfortunately, they couldn't remove it that way. The only way they could do it was to crack open my chest. That, again, it needed to come out right away. They would biopsy it and then start chemo as soon as they knew what they needed to do. I looked at her because she was Indian, but from India. And I said, look, I need to go and just try something. I need to try it because I firmly believe that it's possible. I can receive wellness a different way. I don't believe in chemo, and I don't believe in treating illness with something that's going to give me illness later. That doesn't make sense to me. So I went to have ceremony. Except for when I went to have ceremony and I asked with our old protocols, I was actually denied. I was denied ceremony because I had made an agreement and I didn't adhere to that. And the spirits had said, we did our part. We came to you. You didn't do yours. And so because of that, I was sent home to figure out wellness on my own. I went to figure out what was anger. I thought it was just an emotion, and I thought, how can I be superhuman and never be angry again? That just doesn't make rational sense to me, and I couldn't compute that. So I started doing research after research to figure out what anger really was, and I came across a woman named Lisa Marie Sheldon who demonstrated in a way my mind could understand that anger was a vibration, it was an energy, and that I have a choice of what I do with that energy. I can throw it onto somebody else and hurt them, or I can keep it in me and hurt me, or I can find a healthy way to let it go or turn it into something else. And I wanted to learn how to do that. And as soon as I learned that was what happened, I messaged my medicine man and said, I think I got it. It's not about never being angry. It's about never using that anger to hurt somebody or hurt myself. And he said, you got it. About 5 days later, we were at a ceremony. He had a plate of food, which is very traditional in our way of life, to bless the plate of food and leave it as an offering. And he was praying with that plate of food. I never ate the food. I never touched the food. He never touched me. I felt like he was speaking directly for me. And he begged for my life. He begged for a chance. He told the great one, Kantanka, our source energy, that he knew I could do it and that I was going to do it, and he believed in me and he loved me to please give me a chance, to please take that from me. I went I had a surgery scheduled for the following Wednesday. I went on Friday for a PET scan for them to verify what exactly they were going to take out, where. My surgery is scheduled for 1 in the afternoon on Wednesday. At 10:30 in the morning, I received a call from Dr. nurse. Because Dr. doesn't know how to explain it. She's never seen anything like it, but there's absolutely nothing there. You don't need to come. And of course, I hit the ground, and my daughter and I embraced, and it was a glorious day. And I thought, I got it then, because I made that exchange. I have this understanding. They blessed it. I met them halfway, and I did my work. And so I thought I was well, because I understood this anger thing, and I thought I had it. My medicine man and I became even closer. I've known him for over 17 years, and he now has become my son-in-law. And so I was sitting in my son-in-law's house one afternoon between the second round of cancer. This is going to be right around March 2017 now at this point. And of March 2017, he asked me to come and sit at the table next to him. And he looked at me and he started to cry. And all the years I've known him, he's never cried, not for me anyway. And I knew something was wrong. And he said, "There's something coming for you. And this time, I'm not going to be able to help you." And for me, that was like, whew. He said, "Liz, you know how I love to learn and I love to find new information?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "I was on the internet." He's the coolest guy on the planet, by the way. And he said, "I came across this man. And as soon as I hit play, Grandpa told me, give it to her, and I know he meant you." And he said, "So I'm going to give you something, and I beg you. I beg you, Melissa, please. Learn what this man is telling you. Learn it. Learn it and do it every day. Don't give up, please. You're running out of time." So he sent me a link to a YouTube audio of unwiring your subconscious mind. And I swear it took me 5 times to listen to it. Probably 5 times I got really pissed off at Dr. Joe because I could no longer believe the lie I was telling myself, and that I could no longer blame anybody for anything, and that I created every time I got sick, and that if I wasn't careful, I was going to get sick again. I practice. Things just evolved, actually. I didn't really know much about Dr. Joe, to be honest with you. It seems like everybody here knows so much, but I just had that little audio, and I sent it to my sister, and I said, "You got to listen to this man. He did. Like, this is it. Like, everything we learn in our way of life, it's translated out here. And sometimes you go to ceremony, and they say, remove anger from your life, but they don't give you the how-to. They don't tell you how to do that. Dr. Joe tells you how to do that." So I was telling her, you got to listen to him. She fell in love too. And she bought the morning and the evening meditation. She said, let's try this. Let's just see what happens. Okay. We tried it. I was doing the work, and in my mind, I was watching as many videos as I could. I was trying to understand at least the concepts behind it, but to be honest with you, they're very parallel to my culture and my way of life and our understanding of how you reach source energy. And so it just matched. And as I practiced, I felt myself becoming stronger, even though I didn't know I wasn't strong yet. At that point, this is about now May 2018, where I realized I'm doing really good with Dr. Joe's work. I'm loving waking up and doing the meditations, doing the evening meditations. And I had this crazy injury, and I wound up having emergency surgery with 2 strangulated hernias. When I went in at 273 pounds. Yes, I did. And that when I saw that number, I was like, oh, heck no. And I have to tell you, too, when I started doing Dr. Joe's work, I wasn't sick. I didn't have anything that I felt in my mind I had to overcome. I wasn't aware of anything inside myself yet to overcome. So I was just going through it, right? So I decided that I was going to test Dr. Joe. I tested him. And I decided I needed something tangible that said, for sure this works. And the way I thought I could do that was through my body. So I told myself as soon as I came out of that surgery, I was not going to weigh 273 pounds anymore. I'm a retired professional soccer player. I have no idea. Now, I do now know how I reached 273 pounds, but that was not acceptable anymore at that point. So I started using the morning meditation and the evening meditation, just walking at the gym because it was all I could do. I was so big. The heaviness caused pain in my body. I was having pain in my lower back that I thought was just from the surgery and having to hold my body in a different way. So I don't know why, it was intuitive. And before I would start them, I had this little playlist that was like my little pump-up songs, my like, come on, let's go get it songs. And I had decided that I was going to walk every day and I wasn't going to stop until I was the skinny me, not till I could see her, not till I could feel my toes in the sand her, but till every part of me was the me that I felt underneath all of that. And I felt like that was a tangible thing. I could measure that. I could say without a doubt, this works or it doesn't work. And I did it. I'm not going to say every day that I do that at the gym. I probably did that at least 4 days a week, though. And 2018 was May, 273 pounds. This is 2019 September, and I'm 155 pounds. So does it not only cure the miraculous? Yes, it does, but it made me shed the body. I thought it was winning it. Well, I started feeling a lot of pain, and I decided that, and I was losing a lot of weight, so I wasn't really sure yet, kind of was a little skeptical of Dr. Joe, so I went to my doctor and said, hey, look, I'm losing a lot of weight. I'm worried about these surgeries, if there's maybe something wrong, and I'm having this pain right here in my lower back. And I had these nodules in my back. One was really big, you could put your hand on it. The other was kind of smaller, a little deeper. And I said, they really hurt. Sometimes they make my legs shake. And I said, I don't want to take medication for it, but it's getting to a point where it's hard to walk sometimes, and I love to walk, so that was a good thing. And she put me in for a couple scans, and I didn't hear anything back for a little while. I don't know why I didn't hear anything back for a little while. It was probably about a week, and I thought it was odd. But I was en route to one of our sacred ceremonies, one of our Sundance ceremonies. And I literally had just left Las Vegas, in between Las Vegas and Mesquite. And I got a phone call from my doctor's office telling me that they wanted me to come back in right away, that they were concerned because the scans had shown 2 metastasized lesions on my L4 vertebrae. And I needed to come back right away. They wanted to do full body bone scan, they wanted to do full body PET scan, and we needed to get right at this. We needed to come in right away. And I said, well, I'm leaving, and I'm going, be gone for about 3 weeks. She said, no, ma'am, you don't understand. I made that drive from Las Vegas all the way to Devil's Tower, Wyoming, scared. And then I finally went to Nate, and I asked, and I told him what the doctor had said. And he said, I told you it was coming. He said, I can't help you. Please tell me you've been doing it. He said, Grandpa's want you to know that those things in your back, they're forgiveness trapped in your body because you don't know how to move that energy through your body. And so it's trapped there. So to live out of this, you're going to have to forgive to live. He told me, he said, I want you to go and get your pipe and pray and prepare. Tonight, there's going to be a sweat. And it was for everybody. It wasn't for me. It was for everybody. Mind you, nobody else in my family, except for my sister Shia, was doing the meditations. Nobody else understood any about what was getting ready to happen. But he said, I want you to go get ready, focus, and get ready. And be ready for that sweat, because they're going to give you an opportunity. And I want you to use what you learned in that opportunity, because it's going to be what helps you. So I went and I just tried to remember everything I knew about what I was learning with Dr. Joe. I took my pipe and I prayed and I thanked Grandpa for Dr. Joe. I begged him to please let me do this right. This just one time, let me do this right. That I would walk forever in my new reality, in my new body, if you just let me do this just right, this one time. Not give me any doubt. I walked up to that sweat and I crawled in and I sat down and they closed the door. And when Nate started talking, I swear it was like I heard the background music of that meditation, and I could hear it, and the sweat turned into a sky of stars. And the next thing I know, Nate was guiding them how to separate from themselves, just like Dr. Joe. So when I heard it, I knew exactly what it was, and I knew exactly how to do it. And I got so excited because I knew I could do it. And I just did it. And what I'm learning here, I didn't do there. I just knew I was there. And when I got there, I just said, I want to walk. They said, you're going to get one opportunity when they open the door to ask for one thing. So I said, when I got there, I said, I want to walk out of here in my new reality, in my new body. And I just repeated that over and over and over and over and over again until I convinced myself, and I said enough, that that's what I wanted there. I was going to do that. I was going to be that. I know when I crawled out of that sweat, that's what happened. I felt it physically in my body, like a catapult of energies went right through the back of my spine, right through here. It just hit me. And I was kind of hunched over in pain, and Nate just kind of came and put his hand on my shoulder and then put his hand on my head, and he said, it's going to be okay now. When I got home, I did their full body bone scan. And about a month later, because that's how long it took them to get me in, I did their full body PET scan. It took a month to get the results of my bone scan. And he got on the phone, he said, ma'am, they can't come, they're busy, but I do have your file here, and I want you to know that there's no bone cancer in your body. Well, of course there wasn't, but I just, I needed to know. I would not have found Dr. Joe without my medicine man. There are incredible similarities. I'm here now learning how to overcome myself. I don't want to ever get sick again. And because I know that wasn't how I earned it, I really am looking at my time here as that, like, you need to learn it so you can earn it. Because I know I should consider myself worthy already. But to me, I had it in me to make me sick. And I don't want that in me anymore.